He's so stupid. He's so stupid, he can't even say anything clever or smooth. He's a moron.
De Niro, whose acting talents have greatly diminished with his reputation now shot, must even use a teleprompter for his foul and disgusting language. So disrespectful to our country.
Robert De Niro just called Trump a deep fake president. Ouch, that's gotta hurt more than a mob hit in Goodfellas. But Trump's not taking it lying down. He's hitting back, calling De Niro punchy and dissing his movies. It's like watching two grumpy old men fight over the last pudding cup at the retirement home. Who's winning this war of words? Let's find out. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Alright folks, let's dive into the wild world of Robert De Niro's Trump takedowns. This Hollywood legend has been roasting the former president like he's auditioning for a Comedy Central special, and boy, has he been on fire.
We've heard you talk about the former president. You have called him a fraud, a con artist. You've said he's a New Yorker like you, and you have watched this brand of BS.
I think of how absurd it is. And this might be the one case where that could be it for him. It's a state case. He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system.
Remember when De Niro called Trump a joke and a fake? Well, that was just him warming up. At the 2018 Tony Awards, De Niro decided to spice things up a bit. He strutted onto that stage like he owned the joint and dropped not one, but two F-bombs aimed straight at Trump. Talk about a mic drop moment. The audience went nuts, cheering louder than a bunch of teens at a BTS concert. But De Niro wasn't done yet. Oh no, he was just getting started. He kept coming up with new ways to insult Trump faster than the Donald could tweet fake news. It's like he had a team of writers working overtime to come up with zingers. Maybe he should consider a career in stand-up comedy. Now let's talk about De Niro's greatest hit.
He's so blatantly stupid. He's a punk, he's a dog, he's a pig, he's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework. It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has. He talks how he wants to punch people in the face. Well, I'd like to punch him in the face. Thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country. This is somebody that we want for president? I don't think so.
Drum roll, please. He called Trump a wannabe gangster in the White House. Ouch, that's gotta sting more than a slap from Joe Pesci in Casino. But wait, there's more. De Niro also dubbed Trump a real loser and a flat-out blatant racist. Looks like someone's been studying at the School of Hard Knocks, huh? But here's the kicker. De Niro didn't just stop at insults. He went full-on political analyst on us. At the 2020 SAG Awards, he claimed that Trump and his cronies were trying to destroy our right to vote. Who knew the guy from Taxi Driver could be so politically savvy? It's like he's been binge-watching CNN between takes. Now, you might be thinking,
Does it give you some sense, not of joy, but of relief at least, that he's potentially facing some consequences? Because, as you've said before, this guy's a con artist, and he's gotten away with it for years.
I'm not calling him, I'm tired of calling him names. He just can't be anywhere near the office of the presidency. It's funny, I was just thinking that he actually became president. He could have done good things. Instead, he had to do it all wrong.
sure, this is all fun and games, but is De Niro actually changing anyone's mind? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is he preaching to the choir, or is he actually swaying some undecided voters? Maybe he's just giving voice to what a lot of people are thinking but are too afraid to say out loud. One thing's for sure, De Niro's not pulling any punches. He's using his celebrity status like a megaphone, shouting his opinions from the rooftops. It's like he's playing the role of the kid in The Emperor's New Clothes, pointing at Trump and yelling, "Hey, look, this emperor's got no clothes on." Yeah, only instead of clothes, it's Well, you get the picture. Alright folks, it's time for round 2 of this Celebrity Smackdown.
You've played a lot of bad guys. Would you ever play Donald Trump?
Never. There's nothing about him, there's not one redeeming thing in him that I can see, ever. He's so, as we all know, so narcissistic and self-centered. I don't think they really understand. And historically, from what I see, even in Nazi Germany, they had it with Hitler.
Just when you thought De Niro was hogging all the spotlight, our orange friend decided to jump into the ring. And boy, does he have some zingers up his sleeve. Trump, never one to take an insult lying down, fired back at De Niro like a kid who just learned how to use a slingshot. He called the actor a wacko and said his movies aren't worth much anymore. Ouch, Donnie. Did you stay up past your bedtime to come up with that zinger? But wait, there's more. Trump's got a special nickname for De Niro. Any guesses? It's Punchy. Real creative, right? It's like he's been binge watching Rocky movies and thought, hey, I can do better than that. Maybe next he'll start calling Brad Pitt Fighty and Tom Hanks Runny. The Trumpster didn't stop there. He claimed he never knew how small De Niro was, both mentally and physically. Wow, Trump making fun of someone's height? That's some real presidential material right there. It's like he's playing a game of I know you are, but what am I in the schoolyard. But here's where it gets really interesting. Trump suggested that De Niro suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, because anyone who criticizes the great and powerful Trump must be mentally unstable, right? It's not like people could have legitimate concerns about his policies or anything. This whole feud has turned into a political soap opera, with both sides using the drama to fire up their supporters. Trump's base is all riled up, boycotting De Niro's films and calling him anti-American for daring to speak his mind, because nothing says land of the free like shutting down someone's opinion, right? Meanwhile, De Niro's over here dropping F-bombs like they're going out of style, and Trump's busy collecting these insults like they're Pokemon cards. Gotta catch 'em all, I guess. So what's the deal with this De Niro versus Trump showdown? It's like watching two old geezers duke it out at the bingo hall. Sure, it's entertaining, but are we missing the bigger picture here? While we're all busy giggling at their insults, the real issues are getting lost in the shuffle like a sock in the laundry. Here's a wild thought. Maybe celebrity feuds aren't the best way to engage in politics. I know, shocking, right? Research shows that while celebs yapping about politics can grab our attention, it often pushes meaningful discussions right out the window. It's like trying to have a serious conversation at a rock concert. Good luck with that. But here's the kicker. These celeb spats might actually be influencing how we vote, even if we don't realize it. It's like they're secretly pulling our puppet strings while we think we're making our own choices. So next time you're tempted to pick sides in a Hollywood versus Washington smackdown, maybe take a step back and ask yourself, am I really learning anything here, or am I just watching a really expensive reality show?
You want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president.
It's a state case. He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system.
Think you can come up with a better Trump insult than Robert De Niro? We dare you to try. This Hollywood legend just schooled us all in the art of the political put-down. From punk to national disaster, De Niro's got the game on lock. But hey, if you think you've got what it takes to out-insult the master, bring it on.
Would you ever play Donald Trump?
Never. There's nothing about him, there's not one redeeming thing in him that I can see.
Corruption surrounded by corrupt judges and corrupt politicians. Other than that, there's no pressure.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Alright folks, buckle up because we're about to witness a verbal smackdown that'll make your average WWE match look like a tea party. Picture this. Robert De Niro, the tough-talking acting legend, steps up to the mic. The crowd's so quiet you could hear a MAGA hat drop. Everyone's thinking, is he gonna talk about his next movie? Oh boy, were they in for a surprise. Instead of plugging his latest flick, De Niro goes full-on raging bull on Trump. He starts throwing verbal jabs that would make even Jake LaMotta wince.
create havoc. These are bad people. I know everything they're doing. I know every move they make. I get it. It's tougher. I think it's probably, in many ways, it's tougher on my family than it is in me.
He actually became president. He could have done good things. Instead, he had to do it all wrong.
The actor doesn't just criticize Trump, he demolishes him with words sharper than a New York pizza slice. De Niro's rant gains momentum faster than Trump's golf cart heading towards the 19th hole. He calls Trump a punk, a dog, and a pig. It's like watching a masterclass in creative insults. You can almost hear Trump supporters across the country choking on their freedom fries. But wait, there's more. De Niro's just warming up. He unleashes a haymaker, calling Trump a national disaster and an embarrassment to this country.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change.
He's so, as we all know, so narcissistic and self-centered.
Ouch, that's gotta hurt more than a bad spray tan job. The audience is stunned, jaws dropping lower than Trump's approval ratings. As De Niro's words echo through the room, you can practically see the shockwaves spreading. It's like he's taken all of America's frustration, rolled it into a ball, and hurled it straight at the White House. The actor's passion is palpable, his anger real. This isn't just another celebrity mouthing off. This is De Niro, the guy who made You Talkin' to Me a cultural touchstone. The crowd's reaction is a mix of gasps, cheers, and nervous laughter. Some people are pumping their fists in agreement, while others are squirming in their seats, wondering if they've accidentally stumbled into a political rally instead of an awards show.
We've heard you talk about the former president. You have called him a fraud, a con artist. You've said he's...
So Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that, and a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay? It's a hoax.
Well, folks, it looks like our favorite orange-tinted toddler-in-chief is about to throw a tantrum that'll make your terrible 2-year-old look like a Zen master. While De Niro's words were still ringing in everyone's ears, Trump was already reaching for his phone, itching to fire back. But uh-oh, someone took away his favorite toy. No more Twitter for you, Donnie Diapers. So what's a grumpy Trumpy to do when he can't tweet his little heart out?
Still just concepts? Do you have a fully developed plan?
Let me explain. Obamacare stinks. It's lousy. If I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me.
Why? Turn to his own knockoff platform, of course. Truth Social became the stage for Trump's latest meltdown, and boy, was it a doozy. Those stubby fingers of his must have been working overtime, trying to come up with the perfect zinger. Spoiler alert, it wasn't exactly Shakespeare. Trump, in his infinite wisdom, decided that the best way to prove he's not a punk was to act like, well, a punk.
Brand of BS.
I think of how absurd it is, and this might be the one case where that could be it for him.
Hillary Clinton, oh, she's crooked, folks. She's crooked as a $3 bill.
You should lock her up, I'll tell you.
Lock her up is right. For what she's done, they should lock her up.
He fired off a series of posts that would make your drunk uncle's Facebook rants look like Pulitzer Prize material. The highlight? Calling De Niro low IQ Bobby. Really, Trump? That's the best you could come up with. I guess when your vocabulary is limited to tremendous, huge, and covfefe, you've got to work with what you've got. But here's the kicker. The more Trump ranted and raved, the more people started paying attention to what De Niro actually said. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know you should look away, but you just can't help yourself. Trump's reaction was turning into a real-life example of the Streisand effect. For those of you who didn't major in Internet Drama 101, that's when trying to hide or censor something only makes it more popular.
You want to know the truth? It'll be like Detroit. Our whole country will end up being like Detroit if she's your president.
It's a state case. He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system.
During his presidency, Trump averaged 18 tweets per day. That's right, 18. The man tweeted more times in a day than most people change their underwear. And now, without his Twitter megaphone, he's like a fish out of water, flopping around on Truth Social, gasping for attention. The more Trump reacted, the more De Niro's words spread. It was like watching a game of telephone, but instead of the message getting garbled, it just got louder. People who hadn't even heard De Niro's original comments were now Googling them, eager to see what had gotten the orange turd's knickers in such a twist.
Potentially facing some consequences because, as you've said before, this guy's a con artist and he's gotten away with it for years.
I'm not calling him, I'm tired of calling him names.
And it's bull. It's bull. When does bull?
I think it's all bull. I got indicted more than him on bull.
Well, folks, it looks like our favorite tough-talking actor just schooled the big orange baby in the art of verbal smackdowns. But here's the kicker. When celebs like De Niro go all political on us, it's not just for giggles. These Hollywood heavyweights can actually get people fired up about the important stuff. Think about it. When De Niro drops those truth bombs, it's like he's handing out free tickets to the Wake Up and Smell the Democracy show. Suddenly, everyone's talking politics at the water cooler, and Trump's Twitter fingers are working overtime. It's like watching a real-life soap opera, but with way more consequences for the country, yet
I don't think they really understand. And historically, from what I see, even in Nazi Germany, they had it with Hitler.
How has your life changed over the last 3 weeks?
It's incredible, and we are very, very busy. The life is...
So next time you're feeling all hot and bothered about the state of the nation, maybe channel your inner De Niro. Just remember, unlike our dear leader in his fancy golf pants, it's better to have some facts in your corner than just a bunch of hot air. Who knows, you might just inspire a movement, or at least a really spicy meme.
He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system.
Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world.
Did you know that Robert De Niro used over 10 different insults to describe Trump in a single press conference?
Punk, he's a dog, he's a pig, he's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about.
That's more creative name-calling than a group of middle schoolers on Xbox Live. But here's the real kicker. 100% of late-night hosts jumped on the De Niro bandwagon, turning this feud into comedy gold. The question is, are we laughing with them or at the state of our politics? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. So picture this. Robert De Niro, the guy who's played some of the toughest characters in movie history, decides to take on the biggest, baddest bully in the political playground. Yep, you guessed it. Donnie Diapers himself, Donald Trump. It's like watching David versus Goliath, except David's packing some serious verbal firepower this time.
And what I'm very, very worried about is that it might go in the wrong direction with someone like Donald Trump.
There's De Niro looking sharp as a tack at some fancy schmancy event, but something's off. He's got that look in his eye, you know the one, like he's about to go full Jake LaMotta on someone. The crowd's on edge, probably wondering if they should duck for cover or grab some popcorn. Then it happens. De Niro grabs the mic and everyone's holding their breath. Is he gonna thank his agent? Maybe share a touching story about his craft? Nope. Our boy Bobby decides it's time to lay into Trump like he's Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. And let me tell you, the words coming out of his mouth would make a sailor blush and a nun faint. It's like watching a verbal boxing match, and De Niro's throwing haymakers left and right. So what exactly did De Niro say that's got everyone's panties in a twist? Well, hold on to your hats, folks. He called Trump this fool, this bozo, who's ended up where he has. But wait, there's more.
It makes me so angry that this country has gotten to this point, that this fool, this bozo, has wound up where he has.
De Niro went on to declare Trump a national disaster and an embarrassment to this country. Ouch. That's gotta sting, right? But our tough-talking actor wasn't done yet. Oh no, he was just warming up. De Niro then dropped the mic with, "Down with this mother."
Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world.
Well, you can probably guess the rest. And just in case anyone was unclear about his feelings, he threw in wannabe gangster in the White House and
It's no longer down with Trump, it's fuck Trump.
total loser for good measure. Talk about not pulling any punches. Now, you might be thinking, surely the orange turd's gonna fire back, right? Well, you'd be right on the money. Trump, never one to take an insult lying down, hopped on his favorite soapbox, Twitter. He fired off a series of tweets calling De Niro a washed-up actor and a loser. Wow, really original there, Donnie. Maybe try a thesaurus next time. But here's where it gets really interesting. De Niro's verbal smackdown sparked a whole celebrity pile-on. George Clooney jumped in, calling Trump a xenophobic fascist. Not to be outdone, Meryl Streep chimed in, saying Trump has the power to turn back the clock to when we all lived in caves. Geez, talk about a tough crowd. And just when you thought it couldn't get any spicier, De Niro dropped the mother of all bombs. He called Trump a sick person and dangerous, adding that he's genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system.
He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system.
Yikes! That's not just a diss, that's a full-on character assassination. Well, folks, you didn't think Trump was gonna take De Niro's verbal beatdown lying down, did you? Our favorite grumpy Trumpy isn't exactly known for turning the other cheek. Nope, he's more the fire back with both barrels blazing type. And boy, did he ever. Picture the scene. Trump perched on his golden throne, probably. Phone in hand, face redder than a MAGA hat left out in the sun. His tiny fingers are hovering over the Twitter app, ready to unleash a storm of nonsense that would make even the most seasoned politician cringe. And then it begins. The tweets start flying out faster than fake news on Facebook, each one more unhinged than the last. Trump's going full kindergarten on us, folks. He's calling De Niro a washed-up actor and a low IQ individual. Real mature, right? It's like watching a playground bully who just learned some new insults and can't wait to try them out.
I don't think they really understand. And historically, from what I see, even in Nazi Germany, they had it with Hitler.
But wait, there's more. Trump, never one to miss an opportunity to toot his own horn, decides to throw in a jab at De Niro's acting skills. He tweets, maybe if he could remember his lines, he wouldn't need to attack me. Ouch, that's gotta hurt coming from the guy who brought us such cinematic masterpieces as Home Alone 2 and The Little Rascals. Meanwhile, the rest of Hollywood's jumping on the anti-Trump bandwagon faster than you can say "Kafefe." It's like they've all decided to audition for the role of angriest celebrity in the next big blockbuster. George Clooney's calling Trump a xenophobic fascist. Meryl Streep's saying he wants to take us back to the Stone Age. It's a regular roast battle out there, folks. But here's the thing, as this Twitter war rages on, you gotta wonder, is this what passes for political discourse these days? Are we really living in a world where the President of the United States and one of Hollywood's most respected actors are duking it out like two drunk uncles at a family barbecue? And let's not forget, there's more to this feud than meets the eye. Sure, on the surface it looks like two rich guys with big egos yelling at each other. But
he had to do it all wrong. He's so, as we all know, so narcissistic and self-centered.
I'm going to say one thing. Fuck Trump.
Dig a little deeper, and you might find some method to the madness. Could it be that De Niro's old-school verbal smackdowns are the kryptonite to Trump's social media superpowers? Who knew Goodfellas quotes could be so effective in modern politics?
Why will he not do that in this country? Yeah. It's what he wants, what he envisions the world to be, which is chaos and craziness, total.
Well, folks, it looks like the De Niro versus Trump showdown has come to an end, at least for now. It's been quite a ride, hasn't it? Like watching two grumpy old men yelling at each other from their front porches, except one's a Hollywood legend and the other's the president. Who'd have thought? But here's the thing, while it's been entertaining, it's got people wondering if this is really how we want our political discussions to go down. Are celebrity insults the new campaign speeches? Is Twitter the new debate stage? Next time you're at a family dinner and politics come up, just remember, it could be worse.
Talks how he wants to punch people in the face. Well, I'd like to punch him in the face.
You could be Robert De Niro trying to eat his soup while Trump tweets about him. Now that's a mental image. Stay tuned, folks. Who knows what celebrity politician feud we'll cover next? Maybe we'll see Meryl Streep taking on Biden. Now that would be something.